What's happening, everybody? It's Scott here from WFLBC, and today I'm here to talk to you about the Fujifilm X-E3. Ooh. It's the latest in the X series lineup of cameras. I've had it for about a month. I didn't get to shoot much with it for the first 2 or 3 weeks. So I took this thing basically out in the wild to do like a proper field test with it. A lot of guys just do street photography and architecture photography with the Fujifilm X series. There are some professional photographers using these in a studio setup, but I wanted to take it out and do some landscape and wildlife photography to see how it stacked up. So I took the XF100-400, the massive telephoto zoom, it's up over there somewhere, to strap onto this little camera, and I'll show you some of those results now. Cut to the driving montage. Alright, I got a bunch of killer shots of the sunrise. That's a very small fraction of the people that are still here. I'm going to set this G7X up to do a time lapse of this fog. I think it's going to look pretty cool. It's 10:30. It's turned into quite a long morning. I'm just about at the bird sanctuary, so I'm driving through Ladner. Be there in a minute. Alright, I'm here. Got the X-E3, got the 100-400, got a bunch of ducks. Let's go find some birds. Well, other birds other than ducks. I like ducks too. So as somebody that usually shoots with older generation X series cameras, the newer generation like the X-T20, the X-T2, and this X-E3, the autofocus just smokes the older models. It's so much faster. That's the big difference for me. Image quality wise, there's not much between them. I mean, yeah, you can blow a 24 megapixel image up bigger than a 16 megapixel image, but for me that's not a huge deal. 16 megapixels is plenty for what I shoot, but the autofocus is a big deal. Alright, so there you go. So, I mean, it's not, I would say, a typical camera to use, especially for wildlife photography, because you go to a bird sanctuary or somewhere like that, you're not going to see a lot of small mirrorless cameras there. You're going to see guys with big Canons and Nikons and huge white zoom lenses on them. Alright, carrying on here. I'm having technical difficulties in the studio. My computer just pooped the bed. Just going over some of the things I like and I don't like about the X-E3. The first thing I love is the size. It is roughly the same size as an XA series camera, so XA1, XA2, XA3. The size is great, and it has a viewfinder, that beautiful high resolution, super fast refresh rate viewfinder that is now common in Fujifilm X series cameras. It's got a touchscreen, which like I've said before, I don't really use touchscreens, but this one's kind of cool because you can drag the focus point around with your finger while you're looking through the viewfinder, so that's pretty neat. The big thing for me, ergonomics wise, is the joystick and the elimination of the D-pad. So right here, there used to be a D-pad. I can show you on my X-T10, never mind the dirty screen, but right there, that's the D-pad with the menu button in the middle and these navigation buttons. That's gone, completely gone on this camera. So what you get instead is you get a joystick, which you can use to navigate through menus, and you can push on it to activate things like the OK button, but you lose those sort of fast access to things like white balance and ISO and film simulation mode. But they have left those intact, and they're actually gesture controls now on the touch screen. So we'll turn it on here, and if you swipe to the side, there you go, that's your white balance. If you swipe the other way, come on, it's a little finicky sometimes. There you go, that's your film simulations. It's probably just me using it. I think it works better than it looks like it works. So the way I'm doing it here, you swipe down, you get your ISO. I think when I'm looking at it, it works a lot faster. It works really well, and having all this real estate here for your thumb is fantastic. You don't worry about pushing the AFL or the Q button over here by the thumb rest, because your thumb can literally take up this whole side of the camera, which is fantastic. It doesn't have a tilt screen. None of the X-E series cameras have a tilty, flippy type of screen. I'd prefer it to have a tilty, flippy type screen like the X-T20 with that touch screen as well. But I mean, size-wise, it's hard to beat that. So like all the latest generation cameras, it's got the X-Trans 3 sensor, the X Processor Pro, 24 megapixels, APS-C size. Image quality-wise, that's the thing with Fujifilm. All of their current cameras, image quality-wise, are going to be exactly the same. There's no different sensors in any of their models. It's all the X-Trans 3 sensors in all the latest models. Same processor, same sensor. It's just basically ergonomics, size, autofocus performance, just things like that that are going to be the difference between the two. The other big thing is that this camera has Bluetooth. I believe it's the first X series camera to have Bluetooth. It works okay. It works okay. My computer's just completely pooping the bed behind me here. I don't know what's going on. Windows, man. It still has the traditional Wi-Fi connectivity too, which works great. Price-wise, you're looking at $1150 Canadian, body only, or $900 US. So kind of around the same as the X-T20. Very similar cameras specs-wise, not weather sealed. This just gives you a smaller body, and quite frankly, it's just a beautiful little camera. Like this rangefinder style of camera with the viewfinder off to the side, and they're just gorgeous. You can use your X-Series cameras for things other than street photography. Blowing people's minds here, I know, because that seems to be, I swear, what 80% of the people use these cameras for. They're good for everything. They're good. The autofocus system is fantastic on the latest generation. So for sports, fast-moving subjects, wildlife, it's great for all of that. Great in low light, great in really bright light. The film simulations are fantastic as always. Acros is beautiful as it is on all the latest X series cameras. So yeah, I gotta send this thing back to Fujifilm. I think I've had it for about a week longer than I was supposed to. Nobody's called me though, so I think we're cool, right? Right, Fujifilm? You guys are the best. I got a couple quick videos I'm going to make. I'm trying to get a bunch of videos in the can here before Christmas because I want to take some time off to spend with the family and just not worry about making YouTube videos because it's Christmas. So again, thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe and like, and check back for another camera review or technology review or something. I'm always changing what I do on this channel, but it's generally camera based. Sometimes vlogging, sometimes electronics, generally cameras. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you next week.